Welcome back, eDiscovery viewers. Today, we're talking about shortcuts that clients like to take that save money. In this video, we're talking about shortcuts that actually do save you money in the long run and do not cause major problems. I'm yet again joined by Kieran. Kieran is a project manager at eDiscovery, and he will help us go over some of these items that actually save client money and helpful in the long term. The first item I have on my list is taking database offline when it's not in use. Cases go cold sometimes. They can go cold for a few months at a time. And clients do call us up and saying, can we do something about it so we're not paying for it?
Right. And that is such a frequent thing that it's been built into relativity probably since the beginning, is the option of what's known as nearline.
Yes.
Which is where your data still exists and it's all preserved, like all of your coding, all of your saved searches, everything, but it's no longer active. You no longer have access to it.
Yes.
So it's billed at a much lower rate. I believe we do it at 1/3.
Right.
So if, you think you have a settlement in a case, but you're not sure, or for whatever reason, the case is going to go dormant for a couple of months, then switching to nearline makes sense. You save yourself your user licenses monthly, and you cut your monthly hosting down to 1/3.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. The users, we can also disable users so you're not paying those monthly fees.
Yes.
Unless, of course, users are using other databases.
Right.
So that works well for everybody. And it's really quick to bring it back online because
maybe an hour, typically.
That's one of the good ideas. Next is not promoting all ingested data for review. So sometimes you get big data sets, you load it all up into relativity, and then you need to perform some kind of search terms.
Right.
There are a couple of ways of handling that data within relativity.
And one of the things that we talked about a previous time was that people try to, search in their email and then just give us that, and that's a terrible idea.
Yes.
So what you should have done is process your full email. But if the case is about a very limited thing, like say it's about one project and you've got emails about 100 projects, it makes sense to do some initial culling. And just to make up numbers, suppose you've got 100,000 emails and only 7,000 relate to this case. So then it's what's known as a data in, data out model, where you're charged one much lower price for processing for the data in. And then you do some searching, some culling, and you promote just a limited subset for review, and that's billed at the data out rate.
Correct.
So instead of, again, just to make up numbers, instead of processing 100 gigs at $150 a gig of flat processing, suppose data in, data out is, 65 in and 150 out. You're saving a ton of money on the processing.
And the data that wasn't promoted, it still exists in relativity.
In case the searches change.
Right, so we can go rerun the search terms and promote different data and add to the existing data as needed.
As the case develops and you find out that, oh, hey, so-and-so also was involved, we're going to need to promote that person's email.
Right.
We can still do that. And at that point, it'll be charged data out.
Right, okay. And the last shortcut that you may not think of as shortcut is email threading. Now, email threading is what I would argue is next level deduplication. It almost does not make sense not to do it because you're eliminating so much data from review. It's almost like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you would say, do not deduplicate my data. People would say, like, what's wrong with you, right? So now we're coming to a point where when you say, don't do email threading, it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you do that?
And gradually courts are becoming more comfortable with the idea of only producing threaded emails.
Yes.
Just to recap, the way when you're reading an email and you see all of the emails in the chain lower down. With email threading, you would just look at the most inclusive ones. Now, you can have 3 different most inclusives on the same chain because some have attachments and some don't. But it makes sense rather than reading, the lower emails 12 times.
Right.
You just look at a top-level email, and then you can see them all.
And then you read through the whole email chain and you look through it once. However, if certain attachments dropped off or our new recipients got added, it will still include that whole branch.
Right, right. If you think of email threading as like a tree, there will be multiple branches off as anything changes, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
And so even if you're just using it for purposes of review, when you review the top level, you might go, all right, not responsive, not responsive, not responsive. Oh crap, this part is responsive.
Yeah.
And then you know to go find that email because you've already read it somewhere else.
All right. Thank you, Kieran. Just to recap, the 3 money-saving tips that actually worth it. Taking database offline when database goes cold, not promoting all ingested data for review, and using email threading. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow eDiscovery on social media networks listed on your screen. And for previous videos, check us out on YouTube. Thank you.